Hey everyone, I've been messing around with my planner book, and I decided that I finally figured out how I want to plan out my days from behind. This year I'm changing the way I plan, which I've talked about quite a bit, and I'm not doing a traditional scheduling out of all the things that we're going to actually check off for the week. Instead, I'm doing what's called planning from behind, and in that I will be only writing down what I'm actually completing. So I purchased this notebook from Erin Condren. I've showed you guys before, showed you the insides quite a bit, but I wanted to show you what I came up with for my idea for through the week. I've been real hesitant on how I want it to look. Towards the end of last year, I just was writing everything down, but I feel like I wanted a little bit more structure in it. And someone I follow on Instagram posted a picture of these blocks that were on a sheet of paper. It was like a grid. And what they did was, so they labeled in the grid on one of the boxes, it said like math and then language arts and then reading. And she was going to, throughout the week, write down what they did in each box. And I love that idea. However, I feel like I need more space. I really wish I would have bought a bullet journal for this because I might have implemented some of that. But because I already purchased this and it was expensive, I'm going to use it and I'm going to make it work with what I have. So my notebook is lined. As you can see, there's lines in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down, I have 4 sheets in total. And I'm going to break down each sheet into one of the subject areas that I want to complete for the week. So you'll see the first sheet says morning time. And down this side, it has like a little checklist area. And I wrote down the things that I want to make sure we do that week. And whether we get to them or not, that will be hard because I won't check my box. But I'm hoping to really teach myself to not worry about checking these boxes. These are just a guide of what I would like to do. And if there's something I don't check off that week, then the following week when I make the new plan, I want to be sure to hit that area because these are all very important things in my life that I want to happen. So these are our little ideas for the week of what I want to do for morning time. Over here is what I'm going to actually write down what we did. This is supposed to free me from such a burden of feeling behind. This should open up the world of, okay, we might not have completed everything that I wanted to complete, but as long as it wasn't written down first, then I'm not going to freak out about it because it's okay. We're just going to write down what we actually did. And so that was the first page. They're all kind of set up. And actually because morning time, we do quite a bit. We go for about an hour a day. So I'm going to have a lot to write down. And so I did front and back for that. The next one is language arts and the same thing. This stuff down the side, because we do Brave Writer, I have a lot of the Brave Writer concepts down the side. And I'm sure over the school year, they'll change and we'll add different things and switch them up. But you'll see like read alone. There's also read aloud time, copywork, dictation, poetry, grammar, literary elements, go slow to go fast, writing projects, remember who they are. I wrote that so that I will not forget who my children are in the midst of our trying to get things done. So those are my little areas that I would like to do for the week. And over here is where I'll write what we did. And again, this is a bigger subject package, so I did front and back. The next one is math. And on the side, I have games, mental math, and IRL lessons. And that means in real life. So I figured those will be good for me to be reminded to let's do some in real life stuff. Not, cooking or count that, not just to count what we did out of our math book. So then we'll write down what they actually did. On the back of that sheet, since math is kind of quick and to the point, we do our lesson and move on. I didn't really need 2 pages for it. Computer skills and music study. Those will also be short. Music study is only 1 to 2 days. So there's very little that'll happen here. Computer skills. Again, I'm going to just write down when they've had time on the computer, when they've, how much time they played on there or what, if they did typing or things like that. On the back side is history. I don't really have any goals to meet for history. I guess I want to write some games down because I do have a couple games. I didn't think about that, but games would be one. And maybe just to remember to take their little tangents when they're interested in something, kind of go off on it and see what else we can learn from those things with whatever we are studying. And the last page for the week is nature study and the library. I want to go to the library weekly this year. I'm hoping that if I put it on here and I'm diligent, that we'll get there more often. So I have 4 sheets. I was worried about this taking up a lot more paper because I was separating them by sheets, but it actually worked out that it's the same amount of sheets as if I would have taken one whole front and back and done each day for each subject, or each day, because we only school 4 days a week. So that is how I'm going to hopefully implement this year's planning style. Like I said, I've always done a typical traditional style planner, and I love it. I still love it, but I just think for purposes, of making sure that I'm not stressed out over everything, about feeling behind, I need to switch it up and do something new. Sorry, the sun's really bright, so if I'm squinting. Something else I wanted to bring up. So I bought this little dashboard from Erin Condren, and I've been wondering how I would use it. And I think I finally figured out today what I want to do with it. What I did was, so it says top priorities. I went down this here and I used a wet erase marker so that it will not erase unless I use some water. And I wrote down the things that I need to make sure that I'm doing with my kids. And Aubrey, Liam, and Emery at the top, it says 101. Or one-on-one. It says 101, but one-on-one is what the 101 stands for. That means I want to make sure that at least once in the week, I'm taking time to do something that they enjoy, not just glancing over them and forgetting that just because we do school doesn't mean that they don't want to have some one-on-one time with me, whether it be playing a game or sitting and doing a craft or playing with some toys that they have that they're really interested in. So that's kind of why those are there. I also wrote using kind words, maybe walk away when I'm really stressed out instead of freaking out on my kids, turning around and walking away. Following their interests when they come up, maybe going outside more, listening to them, jotting down the things that they say that I find interesting, that they're telling me. And last I wrote showing interest. So I want to show interest in what they're talking about and what they're telling me too. Down here, there's a little spot that says habits. I didn't know what I would use that for yet either, but I kind of want to do this for a little while. We'll see. I might change my mind as we go, but I wrote games because I feel like they learned so much and we just have such a better time when we play games. So I really want to make sure that we're playing games. So I figured, why not make it a habit? And every time we get a check mark, we will cross it off. And maybe what I'll do is after we've played so many games, maybe we'll take a trip somewhere, like to go bowling or something game like, just to make it more fun. On the back, you'll see it has like Monday through Sunday. And I was kind of thinking, well, maybe I'll write my meals down for the week, which I might still add that, but I'm not into this week yet, so I don't have that yet. But I wrote these as appointments. So these are the appointments that I have coming up for the week. And maybe when I want to do certain things. So you'll see up here, I don't know if this is backwards or not. I can't really tell in this video. I think it might be for you, but I don't know. It looks backwards on my screen right now. So if it is, I'm sorry. So I wrote appointments and then I wrote the date for each of the days. And then I'm going to just write what appointments we have. So the one day my husband has to go into work early. So I wrote that down so I'd be reminded. I'm planning on doing our nature study these days. So that means we're going to be outside at some point in the day. With that in mind, I have to remember that has to be a priority. So it needs to be in the back of my mind so that I'm not pushing everything else and saying, okay, well, when we get everything else done, then we'll do nature study. It's not that way anymore. It has to be. That's part of school. So however I'm going to implement it, whether we're going to go for a walk or we're going to go to a creek, I need to make sure that I have it on my calendar so that we do it. And same with the library. I want the library to be a priority this year. we do make it a priority, but I want it to happen almost weekly, if not bi-weekly. I think it's important that they get used to searching for things and finding things that they like and having the opportunity to find new things that they like. Plus, it's free and there's always fun stuff going on. So whether it happens outside of our actual school hours or during the school, that's my plan. So anyways, this is just kind of what I'm going with as it pertains to me planning from behind. So I guess if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Or if you have any suggestions for anything new that you wanted me to video or show you what we're doing. Also, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And I will keep trying to put some new stuff out here soon. Thanks.